Hello and welcome to this guide for freshly beginning players in Enlisted for 2024. If you just installed Enlisted, you may be greeted with a screen like this, showing you the current factions inside the game. Your choice here doesn't matter at all, so pick whichever faction you think is cool. You can choose to play any faction at any time in Enlisted, although personally I recommend choosing one and sticking to it. There's a few reasons for this. Firstly, you get to focus on one of the currently 4 tech trees in the game. Progressing down one alone takes a huge amount of time, so completing them in an order makes more sense than playing every nation all at once. Secondly, the silver economy in this game is still brutal. It can take a lot of games and time to amass the silver you need to buy squads, guns, soldiers, vehicles, and every smaller piece of kit that soldiers need to meet their maximum potential. If you would like my personal recommendations on which faction to choose, I would suggest starting with any nation except for Japan. In the current state of the game, Japan has a limited tech tree and a small pool of only 6 maps to play on, in one theatre of war. If you're mainly looking to take this game as an infantry player, I'd recommend starting with the Soviets or Axis. These nations have access to powerful weapons at essentially every tier of play. If you choose to play as a Soviet, you will fight against the Axis forces across rural Moscow and urban Stalingrad and Berlin. You'll have access to most of the best guns in Enlisted and reliable vehicles. Axis, on the other hand, will battle not only the Soviets, but also the Allied forces in Tunisia, Normandy and Ardennes. Playing as the United Axis forces will give you access to the best armoured vehicles such as Panthers, Tigers and the almighty King Tiger, as well as the biggest variety of maps. If you're interested mostly in tanks, start with Germany. The Allied forces consist of mostly the US and some Britain sprinkled in. They battle the Axis forces, but also against Japan in the Pacific. Allies have access to the most powerful planes across the game. If you want to take to the skies and be an ace for your team, choose Team USA and Britain. Again, choose any faction you like the sound of, and you can play any and all factions at any time. The factions within Enlisted are pretty balanced, and it's difficult to say if there is even a best army. After we've decided which faction we want to play, you'll be greeted by the main menu screen for the first time. As a new player, this menu is incredibly daunting, with information overload everywhere. Hopefully in the future this menu is simplified. For now, there isn't anything for you to really do. So pick your nation at the top, then come down to the bottom right here and either play the tutorials or skip them and start looking for a match. I would uncheck Join Any Team, as this will queue you into the first game available as any nation, which I recommend against doing. You can click this button here to see the list of modes and tutorials, as well as select which servers you are happy to connect to. Here we are within the game. The first thing for us to do is to select the squad we want to spawn with and get into the match. This mode is Conquest, in which teams fight for control of 3 flags. If you've played COD or similar, this game mode is basically domination. Don't worry if you aren't playing this mode, every game mode in Enlisted is based on objectives, so you should have a clear indicator of where to go. Conquest is a neutral mode, but a lot of modes are based on attacking or defending. If the objectives shown at the top are red and the army of soldiers is blue, you're attacking, and vice versa. Enlisted is based on tickets. In neutral modes, taking the objectives will either refill your team's tickets or drain the enemies. Tickets are used up when a squad is respawned by a player. Killing enemy soldiers and vehicles is a good way to win in Enlisted, but be mindful that the objective is usually more important. In this situation, I've been fighting and my soldier has died, or in this case, gone down and is waiting to revive themselves or be helped by an ally. In 99% of cases, the best thing to do is to immediately swap to another soldier in your squad. The fastest way to do this is by using Quick Swap, which is bound to Y by default on PC. I recommend rebinding this to a key that is easily accessible. I've put it on E, for example. So, your entire squad got wiped out, and it's time to respawn. You'll have to pick a new squad to spawn as while your first squad is locked. To choose the first squad again, you must play as 2 other squads for them to become available again. If you only have 2 infantry squads and a tank equipped in the beginning though, you can always spawn as the other infantry squad. You will notice here that there are multiple different spawn points to choose from. The main spawns of your team look like this, and the smaller flags are rally points. Rallies are built by engineers and are one of the most important things to do within Enlisted. Who wants to run double the distance to get to the zone, when they can be there quickly by using a rally? This indicator up here is the Objective Capturing UI, and it provides useful information to you at a glance. This bar is a rough indicator of how many soldiers are within the zone from each team. If the teams are tied, no progress is made. The more of your soldiers that are within the zone, the faster it's captured. Capturing as one soldier is painfully slow in this game, so try to keep your squad alive. We spoke earlier about our team building rallies, and we can also stop the enemy team from maintaining their rallies. The Morse code like beeping you can hear in this clip is directional, and gets louder the closer we are to the rally. You can destroy a rally by simply shooting it with a gun, meleeing it, or using an explosive if it's harder to reach safely. These give a lot of XP, and taking them out helps your team to win. Now that I've played as my other infantry squad, the first squad is available to choose and play as. Keep in mind that if you have 3 or more infantry squads equipped, you need to play as 2 other squads, not just one. Remember, you can order your soldiers around in Enlisted. This is useful for keeping the idiots alive, as well as making them hold key positions or deal with objectives. The default key on PC is X, and its use is context-based depending on what you are aiming at. Your squad mates can only hold a position within 50 meters of you, unless they have been ordered to directly hold an objective, which you can do by aiming at the lettered marker before pressing X. You can cancel all orders by holding down X, and your soldiers will make their way over to you and follow you again. So, we've completed our first match and are now in the end of game screen. This page shows us the results and what we achieved within the battle. Up here are the battle heroes, the best performing players of your team. Your personal battle results, showing specific details about what you did and how you did it. The third page shows you the progression of your squads, as well as the progression of soldiers' experience within each squad. At the very top, we can see what we earned for playing this match. Silver gain is determined by how much experience you earn during a battle. The first number here is the base amount of experience you've earned. The green icon is how much is provided based on any boosters that were active during the game. A further 50% boost is given to the winning team, and you also earn another multiplier if you played well and received Battle Hero awards. Here, you can put your cursor over these to see what each player excelled at. Clicking the completed research button, or by hitting escape, will take us out of the endgame screen and let us queue up for another game. In this case, as a brand new player, the game offers us a tutorial on how to use the tech tree, as well as equipping squads to our roster. These instructions are pretty simple, and hopefully, you understand what is shown to you. Here in the research tree, we can see everything there is to unlock within each faction. To begin researching something you want, make sure to click it and start research. If you have free experience stored up, you can use it to accelerate the progress of the currently chosen item. Don't worry about saving up free XP, just use it as it comes. It's granted when you don't have a current research, or gained more XP than the last completed item had, so the excess XP is stored for you. To progress to the next tier, you must research as many items shown in the bar at the top here to unlock further technology. For the purposes of progressing the tree, ignore anything along this bottom row, as these are premium items and are unrelated to your progress. If you'd like to know what you should focus on researching, I'm planning to release guides focusing on each individual nation for my recommendations. Any item with this icon indicates that completing the research will grant you access to a new squad to add to your roster. Lastly are items located within a folder like this. The weapons or vehicles behind the main item are not required to progress down the tech tree. Think of them as extra options available to you. This is the upgrades tree, where we can look to upgrade our squad's capabilities. You can see the current level of the squad and number of points on the right. A squad needs to participate inside a battle and earn score, which translates to experience. You can see all available squads on the left here, with ones equipped to your roster shown first. Here I can show you how to upgrade the squad I just used in battle. I have 4 upgrade points to spend. My recommendation for each squad is to first unlock all of these XP boosts. This will allow the squad to progress faster as well as the soldiers. The different upgrades along this line allow the squad to take more members into battle, equip different types of specialists, or add to the reserve size. Don't worry too much about the reserve, it's just where soldiers are stored if they aren't in a squad. Along the top here are 3 tabs for squad upgrades, personnel upgrades, and weapon upgrades. After upgrading the squad, we can look to progress the personnel. This allows the related soldier type to level up higher and faster, as well as equip pistols, backpacks, or secondary weapons. If given the choice, I recommend always going with a backpack slot over secondary weapons. Lastly, we can unlock upgrades for the guns related to this particular squad. This allows us to spend silver to make our weapons better, or reduce the cost of each upgrade. These upgrades here are related to selling your weapons back. I would suggest not selling any of your guns. You make back a tiny amount of the gold you put into them, and in the long run, it's better to have them. You can spend your upgrade points in any tab in any order you wish. I do suggest following as I've done here by upgrading the squad first. Then you can look to increase the effectiveness of the soldier types and weapons. In the Battle tab, we can manage the squads we want to take into battle. Clicking this icon here of 3 soldiers will show us our army. By default, you will have 4 slots for squads, and a 5th slot especially for holding any premium squads you have. In this case, we can take 3 infantry squads into battle at most. The other types of squads we can take are shown here, with a limit of 1 bike squad, 1 APC squad, and 1 tank or plane squad. We don't have any extra squads unlocked just yet, so our reserve is empty. There is no limit to the number of squads you can have in reserve. Unlock them all if you wish. Coming back out, we can click the Change Soldiers button. This will show us the members of the currently highlighted squad and any soldiers we have in reserve. The limit of soldiers we can have in a squad and the limits of which roles those soldiers can be are shown at the top. Coming back out again, if we want to change the equipment on a specific soldier, we can click on them. This is where you can go to equip different weapons or tools on your soldiers. The player profile can be seen here. We can change our portrait or name decorators. We can also see our stats here. You can skip medals and boosters and check the achievements tab here. You can claim lots of goodies and silver here for completing tasks within the game. Here is the weekly task tab, which is related to our battle pass and overall season progress. Lastly, inside the profile tab is the replays section. You can check the Enlisted replay portal to find replays of any player, or show only yours if you had a great match you want to find and watch again. If we click here, we can see the battle pass and our daily tasks. You should check here and take note of what goals you can aim for within a game to progress the battle pass. The pass itself gives lots of good rewards, even for free-to-play players. With the free pass, you can complete 3 tasks each day, earning a star each. With 3 stars, you can claim 1 level of the battle pass and get the reward. With the premium pass, you are given 9 tasks a day, allowing you to progress 3 levels per day. You can click on a task to re-roll it if you'd like. The premium pass will cost you 900 gold, and you can earn 1000 gold from the pass, essentially paying for itself and allowing you to keep riding the train into the next pass. The last thing to mention in conclusion, and for you to keep in mind, is to pay attention to your battle rating. Matchmaking functions in Enlisted by using 2 battle rating queues. These are ratings 1 to 3 and 3 to 5. This is in relation to the tier of equipment you are using. I strongly suggest for new players to try and stick to using BR1 and BR2 equipment. If you notice that any weapons or vehicles you equip are battle rating 3, you will have the chance to be up-tiered against tier 4 and 5 opponents. These players not only have an equipment advantage over you, but are likely to be much more experienced players. Realistically, tiers 1, 3 and 4 are not worth playing in the current state of the game. The meta, so to say, is to use BR2 or BR5 loadouts to give yourself the best or equal chance of performing well within the game. Hopefully, I've covered everything needed for a fresh recruit to succeed within Enlisted, and helped you to understand the confusing menus and such in this game. If this video has helped you, or maybe a friend you wanted to get into the game, consider clicking the like button. Links to my other socials are down below in the description if you're interested. If you think I missed anything or have any questions, feel free to comment with them. Thank you very much for watching, and GLHF in Enlisted.